It's like asking the question, which is heavy, a ton of bricks or a ton of feathers? Well, a ton of bricks and a ton of feathers, they're one and the same. Just because they're feathers and one bricks doesn't mean anything. They're still a ton. Skip, let's start with the first one, Skip. It's fourth down. You're in the second quarter. The score is 10-10. 10-10. Why would you do, Skip, just punt the ball and play defense? Because what you just did, what you just told your defense, you said, come here, guys, huddle up. I don't trust you. You call your whole team up, and you tell your team, hey, guys, offense, I don't trust the defense. So I want you guys to go for it. They're like, Coach, we're on our own 34. I know we're on our own 34, but I don't trust those guys. So I need you to go get the first down to keep those guys off the field.
Okay, remember, it's 1 foot that you need.
Yes!
Are you also going to tell your offense, I don't trust you to get 1 foot?
Skip, at that situation, I don't believe the analytics says in that situation, at that time of the ball game, that's the move to make. Because basically what you've done, even if they don't move the ball up, you're in field goal range. And then on top of that, you say this tight end lost his mind and jumps on top of the guy.
Lost his mind. I don't know what happened.
And it goes,
a Stanford guy.
It goes from the 34-yard line, Skip, down to the 19.
Yep.
So you're definitely in field goal range now. And then like 3 or 4 plays later, he's in the end zone.
Yep.
The second one, Skip. Now, it's 20-15, 12-21 left in the ball game. Now, the 2 previous possessions, you had gone 3 and out and a pick. That's what your defense had done. And you say, you know, hey, I think we ought to fake punt it here. But it's 4th and 10. Oh, we'll catch him by surprise. Okay, what's the call? Well, what we're going to do, we're going to flip it back to Cedric Wilson. He's going to bubble back about 10, 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and we're going to try to put the guy in a high-low situation. We'll run one guy to the 7, and we'll bring what you call... Really, Skip? You thought that Mike McCarthy, you signed up on that? John Fossil, I've known you since you're probably 10.
Because his father was?
He was my offensive coordinator.
Yep.
Jim Fossil. Really built the offense around me, so a lot of credit that you see that I became, the player that I became because of his dad.
John Bones Fossil is the special teams coach now of the Cowboys.
Yes.
Okay.
I think sometimes, Skip, we play to our reputation. He has a reputation. Remember the throwback pass? He threw, even when he was with the Rams, he beat Seattle on a very similar play.
He did.
He did this against the Cowboys. Had a play where they threw it back. The guy pretended like, oh, I'm a hamstring. And he jogged out the field. They throw it back across the field, and he run it down. Bruh, there's a time and a place. This wasn't a time and a place that you bring that play to your head coach and say, let's do this. Mike McCarthy, at the end of the day, you're culpable for this because you had to have signed off on it. Just like I don't blame the offensive coordinator for calling it. Darrell Bevel was the offensive coordinator that called it. But Pete Carroll had to sign off on it. Mike McCarthy, why would you do this? Skip, that's horrible coaching. I get it. The defense isn't very good, but they had played good the last 2 possessions, and there was no reason. Now, if Washington had gone down the field both times, maybe. But Skip, in that situation, that far backed up, I'm not going. Some guys like Coach Belichick, the difference between Coach Belichick and a lot of coaches, he understands situations. And I don't know if Mike McCarthy understood the situation, but you overvalued his coaching prowess because he had 2 historically great quarterbacks, and you thought he was a great coach.
And he has a Super Bowl.
Thanks to Aaron Rodgers. Thanks to my guy.
Well, at least Mike McCarthy didn't screw it up that year, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Since you won't pick a side on this, you're 50-50 bricks and feathers.
Yes.
I will tell you, for me, as a lifelong Cowboy fan, the fake punt was 100 times worse than the 4th and a foot decision to go for it. The 4th and a foot was just a foot. And again, I like telling my offense, I trust you, even against that front with 5 first-round picks in the rotation.
Why would you?
Because I can get a foot.
But you say you don't trust Zeke.
I don't, but I trust Andy Dalton to make a throw to an open receiver. He's very accurate and very poised in the pocket. And you know and I know there's not going to be a lot of pass rush on that team because it's going to be hold that line.
Right.
It's going to be a lot of elephant warfare, a lot of helmet to helmet, a lot of grunting and groaning. And Andy is going to have a second longer to throw it to a probably open receiver who is almost certainly going to be single covered, and it was CeeDee Lamb on Ronald Darby, who they'd already picked on for a 54-yard touchdown.
Well, who were they picking on him with? Coop.
CeeDee Lamb. They did with Coop.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Well, put Coop over there.
Okay, maybe they thought Coop would draw a little more attention since he is obviously the #1 receiver and he just burned them already. But CeeDee Lamb is their big playmaker on 4th and short. He's so physical that he can wall off, he can screen off a defender a little better because he's just a bigger, stronger kid, okay? So he made the correct play. They made the correct decision to throw. Darby played it great, but he played it way too well because he got there way too early, and he tackled him before the ball got there.
Let me ask you a question.
It should have been a flag, and it should have been converted.
Skip, if you're a DB, it's 4th and inches. You think they're going to run a 5-yard stop route, or you think they're running a go?
Well, again, just me, if you're going to gamble on the foot, I would gamble on the go. Because the go probably has a shot to be way open.
It has a better shot of being open, but guess what?
I agree.
But they know you're not going to do that.
Okay, but every once in a while, I see somebody just go for broke on in that situation and hit one.
Oh, they do.
And I would have been I would have been rolling on the floor if he had hit that for a touchdown.
Skip, let me tell you what Terrell Buckley, he said, and they asked him, man,
he's a cornerback.
He was a cornerback.
Yeah.
He gambled a lot.
Oh, did he?
He said, well, they asked him, they said, well, why do you pick so many of these short passes off? He said there are more slants and stop routes than go routes in the playbook.
That is true.
So guess what?
No, that's a good point. But you are going to get burned.
You gonna give it up.
Okay, now let's go to the 4th down. It was simply the single dumbest play selection on a fake punt I have ever seen in all my too many years of watching professional football. I still can't process how stupid even the idea of it was, because I'm going to go you one better on what you said about the previous 2 series, the defense. Let's go through the whole second half. What happened as the half opened? Zeke fumbled and gave him the ball at the Dallas 33-yard line. They get stuffed and stopped and held to a field goal on a short field to hold the Washington offense the way it had been going in the first half to a field goal. Isn't that a win for the Dallas defense? And then after that, they pick off and return an interception of Alex Smith. Jalen Smith obviously got all the way down to the 4. So you're doing something good. You actually forced a rare turnover. So you're feeling pretty good, because then you come right back out and you make them punt.
3 and out.
Okay, so those are the 3 Washington possessions so far in the second half, most of them obviously in the third quarter. Field goal on a short field, interception return to the 4, and punt. Okay, your defense has started to settle in and started to lock down and figure it out, right? It is starting to play the way it played against Minnesota and even against the Steelers. It's starting to look like a real live defense. You're 4th and 10 at your 24. If you were 4th and 3, I'd say, well, okay, I got it. But you better have a play. And it better happen fast, because the only way fake punts work is by surprise attack. You catch the punt return unit completely off guard because they're not ready for this trick play that happens like electricity. You know, it's just like, and it just happens. And it usually requires a replay to say, how did they do that? It's usually a snap to the up back, right? And maybe he runs it for 5 yards. But you only need 4, so you go for 5.
Or you get a situation, Skip, you see what happened in the Rams game against Tampa, where the guy, they snap it to the punter raises up and throws it to the guy because he caught the guy trying to do something sneaky. But the bubble 15 yards back.
So you run a reverse play, and I don't know how much they had practiced this play, because it looked like they'd never practiced it, because Cedric Wilson loops so deep into the backfield. He is running the wrong way for 15 yards. He's running. It's actually 14. He was 14. He was 4 yards beyond where the punter was going to receive the snap, okay? And the snap goes to the up back, Darian Thompson, who immediately flips it to Cedric Wilson, a former high school quarterback at White Station High School in Memphis, Tennessee, went to Boise State. He is running backward. That's what horrified me.
Right.
He's going the wrong way. You have to cut that short where you force the defense to make a play. He's going so deep, the defense has plenty of time to say, aha, that's what you're going to do.
Skip, if you look at 47, the way he plays, if you set up a fake, Skip, you got to have the guy do the same thing every single time. So 47 says, hold on, I didn't even block him, and he ran up in there. Why would he do that? Because every other time he tried to release outside.
Okay, so he's the gunner, C.J. Goodwin, and he runs a pass route.
Yes.
Clearly, he is cutting up inside.
Right, and so if you see Hudson, he takes one step, he's like, nah, this don't smell right.
It didn't smell right, okay? All right, and here comes the punter, who's only been there for 3 weeks.
Right.
Hunter, what's his name? Nusswinder, I'll get it right.
Yeah.
But he's 6'5", 243. That's
Right.
what he's listed. So I think the idea was he's going to run a little out route like a tight end, and you're going to throw it to him or to Goodwin.
Right.
Goodwin was open, but the problem was that Cedric Wilson turns, and he's so